Back again. Welcome to Global Love Connection. I am Stephen Smith. I am here with the beautiful evangelist Yolanda Blanford. And the topic we talked about was purpose. What is your purpose? So we're getting ready to move forward into the subject of me, my life. I'm getting ready to live it. I'm getting ready to pour it out in front of you. I'm getting ready to tell you everything. I am not one to hold back. I am not one to sugarcoat it. Once you discover the reason why you're here, then you feel better when you go through the things you've gone through. And I've been through a lot of, you know what, as our pastor said, Gehenna. And I just did not understand what it was that I was going through. And then once God really started revealing what I went through, and it's very graphic, it's very upfront, it's very real. And it's because of what I've been through, I can help others that's watching us.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The microphone is not on. Please go on. Let me fix it.
Lo que él está hablando, que él va a hablar de su propósito, de dónde lo ha traído el Señor, porque él ha vivido una vida, y yo creo que todos hemos vivido una vida desordenada, y él va a hablar sobre su testimonio, cómo Dios lo ha cambiado su vida. Y él es largo y es tremendamente porque el Señor lo ha sacado del homosexualismo. Y él va a hablar sobre su vida esta tarde. So, pone atención lo que él va a decir, porque esto es bien interesante. Ha sufrido y cómo el Señor lo ha sacado con su mano poderosa.
Well, much better. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name, finally, they can see the ghost.
The Bosley of the Charlie Angel.
Now they can see Mr. DT. And again, Dr. DT. It's me. Well, tonight we have a gentleman, Mr. Smith. It's easy for someone. You cannot say that you know anybody until you walk on the shoes. You cannot say you know anyone until you know what they're going through, what they've been through. And we know someone. Jesus, he walked on everybody's shoes.
Yes, he does.
So, but tonight, I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to talk to anyone about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Tonight, we're going to share a real story with you. And even when it comes to politics, people talk about things they don't even know.
Yeah.
They have no idea. Some of them, they're ready to pass judgment. They don't know. Some of them, well, it's easy. But how do you know it's easy until? Did you walk? Have you been where that person been?
That's right.
You don't know. It's easy to judge. It's easy to say to someone, it's easy.
Yes.
Because you've never been there.
That's right.
It's easy to judge someone because even the Bible knows that thou shalt not judge.
Exactly.
But tonight, this is a true story. Discovery Global Love Connection and Discovery Talent Radio, we don't edit anything.
Yes.
We bring it to you raw. So you can see we are 100% real. Tonight, I have Mr. Steve Smith.
Yes.
Someone who's been through so much. You can say someone who went through hell, but God Remember, God died. He went through hell and took the key
Yes.
from the devil.
Yes, he did.
So because of that, my brother here, yes, I can say you are my brother in Christ. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's so many people out there who've been going through so much. They never had anyone to reach out to them. And again, look at that guy a few weeks ago. He killed so many people, but all the signs were there. He was crying. He was screaming for help.
Yes.
But there was no one. So, like I said, if you find yourself in between a rock and a hard place, there's hope. So, there's certain places God allow you to go just to teach you the humility, to prepare you for something bigger than yourself.
Amen.
Mr. Steve.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Discovery Talent Radio. A few days ago, you were a listener.
Yes.
You heard me say, if you have talent, if you have a story to share with everybody, you are welcome to reach out to us, and you are welcome to come and share your story. A few weeks ago, I didn't know anything about you. You were listening to the show.
Yes.
And today you are here.
Yes.
So, and again, one thing is, this is evidence that we meant what we say.
That's right.
Yes.
If you have talent,
Come right in.
if you have a story to tell, now you know Mr. DT. And you see the face, the guy, you heard the voice, you never had a chance to see my face. Let me take a few seconds to tell you about the platform. I travel a lot. I've been in the entertainment industry for a very, very long time. I've been with the best. I've seen so many great talent. By traveling worldwide, I had the opportunity to meet so many great artists, and also so many people have talent, but they did not have the platform to promote their talent. And I met other people who called me. I see people keep saying that, listen, I spend $3,000, some say I've spent $1,500 for someone to promote me. They took my money and ran away. And I met so many of you. I heard your story. So I sat down with the best. I sat down, I had a chance to speak with so many different entertainment law firms to find out what they're looking for from an artist. And I had a chance to spend time with the gentleman who created Sunfest. His name is late Bill Finley. Anybody can Google his name. He's one of the best. I had an opportunity to spend time with him, and God bless him. He was one of the best, and I'm blessed. I did have an opportunity to know him, to spend time with him before God called him home. And his son is one of the best entertainment law firm in Palm Beach as well as in Miami. Is Finley Global Entertainment Law Firm. So their phone number is 561-478-9930, and that's in Palm Beach. The phone number in Miami is 305-379-7676. This is one of the best international entertainment law firm. Excuse me. if anyone want to say that I want to be an artist, this is the basic thing you need to have. You need to have an agency to promote your talent, promote your music. The second one, you need to have to sign up with entertainment law firm to protect your work. The third part, you need a manager. And the fourth one, you need a booking agent. If you don't have these 4 elements, you are a wannabe artist. You will not go anywhere. Because whatever product you bring out there, the agency has to promote you. And secondly, the entertainment law firm need to protect your work. And sad partly, if you find yourself, you're 25 years old, you're going higher than that, going 25, 26, 27, the time chance you have for anyone to look at you as an artist is getting slammed. Okay? If you find yourself on the 30s, as an artist, what we do, we encourage you for you to start writing music, writing song for the young artist that's coming. You still can make money. Okay? So when the artists sign up with us, we coach them. We show them, we tell them exactly, this is what you need to do if you want to make it. The system we have in place, not only that, we promote you worldwide. At the same time, we play your music on Discovery Talent Radio. They can go right now to www.discoverytalentradio.com. They can click on live stream. They'll see all the artists that we are promoting right now worldwide. All these artists, we've been promoting them more than 7, 8 months, 1 year, over a year. The only thing they did, they fill out their registration form, which is $99.99. Some artists we've been promoting them for 2 years. They don't pay anything else after that. Okay? Anything you do, you have to fill out the registration form. That's what gives the agency the legal right to work for you, to represent you. If you're good, while we're coaching you, we're telling you this is what you need to do. Not every single artist is trainable. Those you can train, they are the one who are making money right now. Right. If you go right now to discoveryidols.com, you'll see all the other artists globally that we've been promoting. Some of them speak in Spanish, some of them speak in French, some of them speak in English. I mean, you Portuguese, we have artists from so many different countries, and this is what you call it. I mean, it's worldwide. And we have other companies, we have other business partners worldwide also who promote. We send them the artists, they promote them overseas as well. So the company does not make money until when we package you. That's when we tell you what we need to do. And by the way, when you go to the website, you can see most of our artists right now, they're making money. If you're good, we sign you for a competition. If you're good, we sign you for the competition. The first prize is a recording contract up to $75,000. So you don't pay anything. That's good. So no one can say this agency scammed them, because you're not paying us for us to promote you. You know, it's when we find work for you, we get paid. We promote singers, dancers, short film as well, and also we promote actors, we promote models. So that's what we do, we promote them. So when we start promoting them, and when the place that we want them to be, when they get there, we package them. We don't charge them for packaging them. After we package them, we submit it to the entertainment law firm. That's when they got their door wide open for them. So this is it in a nutshell, and also the website, discoveryidols.com. You can go read it. By the way, if you speak Spanish, you can choose whatever language that you speak. The whole website will turn to whatever language you speak. One of the reasons we do it that way, to make sure everyone understands what they're getting themselves involved in. Okay?
So how much for the registration, Mr. D?
For single artists is $99.99. For group artists, it doesn't matter how many people in your group, it's $299. So we use that, buy airtime overseas to promote them. This is excellent, and also if they can go to the website and check it, as well as they can go to Discovery Idols, check it. They can go to US Discovery Talent Radio and check it. And also I have another show, a program on Vision Novel, which is 1600 AM every Saturday from 11 AM to 12 PM, where we promote our artists, we interview them, and also to put them out there. And whenever we're doing the local event, we invite them as well. So we expose them big time. And if you go to Instagram page or Facebook page, US International Discovery Band and Artists, you see all our artists as well. Instagram, Twitter, Google, we spend money in promoting them. But I just want to have the opportunity to introduce myself every time. And also there's another thing. They keep sending me a ton of videos. I keep telling them, I cannot do anything with your music until you sign up the application, the registration. That will give us the legal right to push you. Well, good evening again, my brother.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see this happening.
Not too long ago, I had the opportunity to sit down, talk to you brief.
Yeah.
Your story is so
Amazing.
so unbelievable. I said, you need to share it.
Yes.
There's so many people out there who never went through not even 1/3 of what you're going through. I want to find out what keeps you alive. Because so many people keep saying that they question God.
Yeah.
They question God. Some of them say, is God exists? You know what I mean? So this is a living testimony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God, if anybody out there, you are questioning God, if God can perform miracle, is God still performing miracle? This gentleman is going to share his story with you tonight. And you are welcome to call. And if you have a story to tell, to share, I welcome you to call 561-660-7653. By the way, nobody in this panel, no one, every single shows that you're watching, if you go to YouTube, if you go to US Discovery Talent Radio, nobody has been charged. And I don't charge anyone. And they're not being paid either. We have no paid actors or actress.
No.
I don't believe in that.
None of that.
This is a platform for you to know what's going on. No cut, no editing. That's it. So if you want to call and ask questions, please feel free to participate.
That's right.
Again, welcome, my brother.
Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
I just want to
Glad to
introduce
be here.
Steve Smith because we meet from 2013. And always I hear his testimony and he really moved me. And then I used to have a lot of events and always he's there with me, supporting me.
Okay.
So I know he have potential inside.
So in other words, he was not there alone in the journey.
Yes.
You reach out.
Yeah, I reach out to him.
Praise God.
Yes.
And you see how beautiful God is? He allowed him to go through that.
Yeah.
And he reached out to you.
Yes.
And now I believe God is going to use him to reach out. Please go ahead, my brother.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen Smith. As Mr. DT was saying, I truly do have a story, and I want to thank you, Mr. DT and Evangelist, and Dr. McFarland for having me on here, because this is something that God had prophesied through someone, that I was going to start being on television and radio to tell this story. My story is about my life, and can I pull this up?
Sure, by all means.
The name of my book, which I'll get into later, is called The Lifestyle of a Gay Hustler in a Straight World. My story it's not hard to tell. It was hard to tell at first, but it's not hard to tell anymore. What I went through is I was raised in a household where my mother was a praying woman. She was a godly woman, Christian woman, speaking in tongues, taking us to church every Sunday. Everything we needed to know about the Bible and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, she was pouring it in us. But I had a father that was living the life of a hellion. He was an alcoholic. He was abusive to my mother, to my brother, to my siblings and myself. He would drink. He was cheating on my mother. He was doing everything under the sun, and we just couldn't understand why my mother was staying. While growing up through all of that, at the time that I was born, I wasn't supposed to be born, and God told my mother through my aunt, do not abort me, because my father couldn't afford any more children. So here I am now on this earth. I'm just really bringing her back to God through my story. But as I was growing up, I was what you would call a latchkey kid. For those that don't know that's not, because I'm 48. For those that don't know that, a latchkey kid is a kid that I came home first before anybody. So therefore, I had to go in the house, lock the door, and stay in there until my mom or my dad or one of my siblings came home. One of our neighbors, which so happened to be an in-law, so it can happen in the family, he would watch me. But mind you, my father never really showed love and affection. He never hugged me. He never said, I love you. He never really showed me any attention. He was just the caregiver in the house, and he took care of us. So I still was hungering for my father's love, and all I got was curse words, calling me names, calling me a faggot, calling me gay, saying you're going to be this, you're going to be that, speaking these words in my life. And I was believing that, even though I was 7 years old at the time when my situation happened, I didn't know what that meant. So by me being a latchkey kid, the brother-in-law would come over, my sister's husband's brother would come over and watch me, making sure I'm not burning the house down, making sure I'm doing my homework, and so on and so forth. So here I am. Not only was he watching me, but he was giving me the love and affection that my father did not give me. He would pay attention to me. He would talk to me. He would sit down and do homework, watch television. He even showed me how to work out and take care of myself, even as a young kid. So I was craving that attention. I was craving the father figure attention, that aspect of a father giving me this love. Like, wow. So every day I came home, I was looking forward to that attention that he was giving me at all times, because we sat down and we talked, we laughed, everything. I'm 7 years old. So I don't know anything else. So here it is. I believe it was about 6 months. We were sitting on the couch watching cartoons. And all of a sudden, he reaches over and puts his hand on my leg. And I'm like, I froze. I got nervous. Like, what's going on? So my body's shaking. And he approaches me and whispers in my ear like the devil would try to do. And he said to me, if you can't give me what I want, I can give you what you want. And I'm like saying to myself, what does that mean? I'm little. I don't know what that means. He was saying, if you can't give me you, then I can't give you this love, this attention, this affection coming over, helping you out, and this and that. So the manipulation came in. He manipulated me and convinced me to give myself over, because all I could think was, well, he's not coming back. He's not going to pay me any attention. I'm going to be without a father figure again. I was literally calling him dad. That's how deep it got. My mother and father didn't know this at the same time. I was so close to my mom that, I can say I had effeminate ways, because I was close to my mom. And sometimes boys will emulate who they're closest to. So I literally imitated her. So I guess he's seen that as an opportunity of pleasuring himself off of me. And, you know, at that time it was so taboo to say, you know, oh, he's gay, or, you know, she's a lesbian, because they didn't really talk about it like that. So basically what happened was I did it because I wanted it over and over. I was raped. I was sexually abused. I was molested for 3 years straight. No, I'm sorry, 4 years straight. To the point that he had a girlfriend, a fiance, and we would literally get into arguments because I felt like, you're taking my dad away from me, and that's your boyfriend. And they would have arguments like, oh, you need to stay out of our life, and he would tell her, you mind your damn business. I know what I'm doing. And so since she wasn't that attractive, which is not always the case, she minded her business because she had a nice looking man to be with. So this was my father for years and years and years and years going on. And when they finally left, I was hurt. My life was spiraling out of control. I didn't know which way to go, what to do, because once that love of a father left me, I was hungering for it again and again and again. So from that point on, I dealt with bisexual men because he was a bisexual man. And I know it's a spiritual thing that goes on when it comes to stuff like that he was a bisexual man. And the next person that came, just so happened when they moved out, he came. He was around my age. So I started getting involved sexually and intimately with this person. And then after that person, so on and so forth. I was never satisfied because, like I say, it's like a high. I wanted that first high to come back, and I never found it. But I continued to date other men because I was missing that element of a father. And these guys were hurting too. Nobody heard my screams of cries. I did not tell my mom. I didn't tell my dad. Because let me tell you about my father. He was a great caregiver, great caretaker. But my father was a very violent person. My father has murdered people and has never spent a day in jail. He's murdered 3 people, and he never spent a day in jail. He was an alcoholic. He spent all his money with his women in the streets. We have been in situations where I've had to fight the kids of the woman that he was sleeping with and messing around with. My mother had to fight them. We're just going through all these different motions, but we got to walk on glass and eggshells when you come home because you're broke, because you spent all your money in the streets. My mother's praying to God that we would, and the prayers were answered. We never were hungry. We're never homeless. I didn't even know we were poor because we had everything. But even in the midst of all of that going on, I still was craving love and affection. So here I am trying to keep my sanity, trying to find a man to love me, not telling my mom what's going on. I'm sure she knew because the Holy Spirit told her everything. But I'm still craving this love and I'm not getting it. Now I'm becoming like my father, which I found out later on, he was a hustler. Moonshine. Then my grandfather, then my great-grandfather. My father, I found out that my grandfather murdered people in front of my father. And he even told me a story one time of they were at a game. My father was there. My grandfather hustled cards, moonshine, you name it. They were making money like that. So this flowed in my bloodline too. And there was a guy cheating, sitting across the table. My grandfather caught him cheating. He let him continuously play the hand. My father said he leaped over and pulled the knife out and stabbed him till he died on the table. He did not stop until he murdered him. And he put my father on him and said, see, son, this is what you do. This is what happens when niggas try you. This is how you deal with them. So that it was ingrained in my father to be a hustler, to be a whore, to be a murderer. And those elements flowed in my bloodline. So I became what he was. And I didn't know what that meant when he said, you're going to be just like me. He spoke that on me. Words have power, especially a man speaking into the lives of his children. So I was all that. So now here I am, a hustler, a homosexual. If I had the ability, I probably would have murdered somebody because at the end of the day, it was in my blood. But I didn't. I caught more of the intellectual side of my mom, so I dealt with things differently. So here it is. I'm going from middle school, high school, college, wanting to find love, dating men, trying to figure out where is it coming from. What am I doing? I couldn't find it. There were times that I wanted to kill myself because I was shamed. I was embarrassed. I've been to church. I have heard them teach. It's like the minute they would see me or any other homosexual coming to church, the bashing started. Homosexuals going to hell and you're going to burn and this and that. And I shrunk and my heart was already feeling the pain of my father calling me a faggot. So here I am trying to get some happiness, trying to receive answers, and you're up there bashing me. Well, as I moved on in life, I found that a lot of men were hurting. A lot of them were molested. A lot of them were raped, and they don't want to talk about it. And like I said, I dated bisexual men, and they were hurting more than me. They wanted to be consoled with love and affection. It wasn't even really about the sex. And all of this is going through my mind. Like I said, I wanted to take my life. I prayed to God to kill me. When he woke me up the next day, I was very upset. I wanted to think of ways to kill myself, and nothing would work. Even if I wanted to, I would think I'm going to jump off the building. I'm going to jump in front of a train or whatever, because I couldn't tell my mom what was going on. And I definitely couldn't tell my dad what was going on. I didn't tell my brothers or sisters. So I lived a life and said, it is what it is. This is the way my life was meant to be. But even though I was living that life, my mother instilled Jesus Christ in me. I knew how to pray. I knew how to read the Bible. I knew how to go to God. I went to God when I was in trouble, or I was in a situation, or I was sick. That's the only way I knew how to go to God, because I didn't know how to talk to him. And I discovered later on that the way that you have a relationship with your earthly father is the way you'll have a relationship with your heavenly father.
Let me ask you a quick question. You say your mother, she was a woman of God. She knows God. She knows God. And
yes.
Why you never reach out to your mom and ask for help? Why you never reach to your mom and say, hey, this guy he did something to me. I don't think it make me uncomfortable the first time when he crossed the line to touch your love, to show you love that is not supposed to.
Yes.
Why, if you remember, what caused you not to reach out to your mom? Because she was a Christian.
So. Oh yes, I remember it very vividly. The reason why I didn't reach out is because I was scared. I didn't know what she was going to say, and I never said anything because I didn't want to lose that. You have to understand, when you're being deprived of something and it finally comes along, nobody can get in the way. And even as a child, I wasn't thinking like that, but it's like, if I tell you, now he's going to be taken away, he's going to go to jail or whatever the case may be, and he's not going to love on me. So I was literally calling him dad. I was calling him dad. So if you take him away, then my dad is going to jail, because this man that's taking care of us and paying the bill is doing nothing for us but paying the bills. So that's why I really didn't say anything, and I never said anything at all, because that was pretty much on my mind as to why I wouldn't say anything to her.
But I think it's not easy to be 7 years old, because you don't understand anything about that, because your heart was loving this person and looking at him like a father. But his intention is not to being a father. His intention was about pleasing their own flesh.
Getting his rocks off, pretty much.
Yes. So I think it was pretty hard for you, Steve, being a 7 years old kid's been molested.
It was very hard, and and it's like, as I was growing up, I was gravitating towards more men that were gay. My best friend was gay, and his family knew about it. He was out. I never really went to my family and said, hey, I'm out, I'm gay, because I wasn't accepting the fact that I was a black gay man. That didn't happen until I went to college. I didn't experience all that. I was just trying to find love and have the affection of love. Now, going into gay clubs and being out there, seeing all the heinous things, that wasn't something that I wanted.
Yes.
I wanted to be loved by a father.
Yes. And
every time I dated someone, I looked up to them as a father. Isn't that something? Yes. Because the seed was planted. Yes. And that's what I wanted, was a father. And anytime, even now, if I'm attracted to a man's mind more than the body. That's why I fall in love with, because of how you're treating me in that way. And I'm almost 50.
Yes.
And I'm almost 50 years old, and I still am like, I'm craving for that. And even God told me when we went to a service, when the man was talking about struggles, the Holy Spirit said, you're struggling with your lifestyle. That's your struggle.
Yes.
So I'm asking him to deliver me even more from that, because I desire that, do not desire that at all. So, you know, but moving on with my story, when you read my book, it talks detail for detail of everything I went through and how I was trying to get out, asking God to take it away from me, move it from me, get it away from me. Help me, Lord. I don't understand. Why is it that you're not removing this thing? And if I know it's just going to take me to hell, then I'm caught up in this, and you don't want me to go to hell. Why don't you get rid of it? And he'll let me know my grace is sufficient unto you, to me. My grace is what I'm going to extend to you.
Can I ask you the name of your book?
Sure. The name of my book is called The Lifestyle of a Gay Hustler.
And where can people are hearing, where they can find it?
You can find it on Amazon.com. You just put in the title, The Lifestyle of a Gay Hustler in the Straight World, and you can get it. It's only $20. If you buy the book and the Kindle, you can buy it for $22.99. You can get it immediately. You can get the book when it comes in.
If they want to know more.
Yes, if you want to know more. If you want to speak to me about it, you can contact me on my on my email address, which is Stephen with a V, thefatherfigure@gmail.com, and I'll tell you why later about that one. Or you can call me. I don't know if people are looking for me to speak or whatever. My phone number is 561-215-4903.
Another question, Steve Smith. I would like to know, do you go to churches speaking about your lifestyle to help someone else?
I haven't really been to churches. I've been to events where they wanted me to talk about my story, which I have. I have not had any invitations from any churches. And I asked God about that. And he told me one day, I was like, no, I don't want to focus on churches because they're so judgmental. They won't understand. And I'll just promote my book to the homosexual community and to these other communities. And God says, well, where do you think I want you to promote it the most? Which is in the churches. So I don't know how accepting or how inviting they're going to accept this. Because at the end of the day, I always say, if you want me in there, you're going to open those doors.
Okay. The other questions I have. Since now you met God and your life completely changed. When and is there anybody who reach out to you that help you to step out to make a 90 degrees turn from the lifestyle, from the abuse that you were facing?
To answer that two-part, like I said, I accepted him when I was 16. So I've always known the Lord. My mom poured Jesus in us. It was my choice when I went out there. Now, I'm going to get to the second part. Even as you read my book, you'll see that I do pray. I do call on his name. I do speak to him, and he has helped me in situations where I should have been in prison for years or life. At one time, I'm being honest, I was HIV positive, and I prayed for years. I knew the symptoms because I worked at a place in Atlanta as my intern that dealt with people with HIV and AIDS. So I read everything that was going on because I was promiscuous. I was out there. And then that brought more of a fear on me to the point of not saying anything, but I knew how to pray. I knew how to reach God. And I prayed for 3 years, and I was in a situation where I had to take another test, and God healed my blood. And that's been since 1998.
Praise God.
Now, and that was God. I know it was him. And then I'm in jail. I'm in prison. They have to test you psychologically and your health. And I never went back the first time I got the test because I know when you put the napkins in front of you, you're positive because I had to do it for people. But at the end of the day, I walked, and as I'm walking towards the lady to tell us where to go, she tells me to go to the left. And I heard God say, ask her about your test results. I said, what were my HIV/AIDS tests? She said, if I told you to go to the left, you don't have it. I cried for 4 hours. unstoppable, saying, thank you, Jesus. How do you love me like this? I'm in this mess. I put myself in here. I caused this to happen, and you still love me? You still accepted me a homosexual? Yes, because you let me know I have a plan. I have a purpose behind all of your pain. And to answer the second part, I was still living in the lifestyle for years. I was hustling for years. God started doing things in parts, because I believe with me, just me personally, if he would have brought it all on me at once, I probably would have just said no, because it would have been too much for me to handle. But he took away the hustling in 2004. He took away the homosexuality in 2010. 2010, when he actually really came to me. I was living in Miami, still in the lifestyle, still doing everything under the sun, working and whatnot. He came to me one day. Nobody called me, no prophet, nobody called me. And he said, I want you to move back to West Palm Beach. I said, why? I don't want to move there. These people are ungrateful. They don't like to help you. He says, you will see. Just trust me. I told him no. I lost everything in 2 weeks. Couldn't get a job for 3 months. He said, I said move back. God started changing me. He told me, he said this, I let you have all the fun. I let you do whatever you want. I let you live the life you wanted to live. He said, it's my time now. He let me know, I've called you for greater. And the reason why I allowed, he told me this with tears in my eyes. He said, I allowed you to go through all of that.
Hold on there. Okay. What a God. And again, if you have talent, if you have a story, you need to share with everybody. I welcome you to go to www.discoverytalentradio.com and let us know. Send us an email. Let us know about your story. We'll review it. We'll check it. And we'll contact you. If you want to come to the studio to share your story live, we'll make it happen. And again, in the entertainment industry, they call me Mr. DT. You can contact me at 561-541-1878. I create a platform, discoveryidols.com. You can go to the website. You can review everything we do. All the artists we promote worldwide, we quote you. We play your music to our radio station and also to other stations, to other programs that we have. So, and again, I thank everyone who sent me their music, their videos, but keep in mind, I cannot do anything with them if you do not register. That registration application gives me the legal right to package you, to work with you as an artist. So go to www.discoveryidols.com. For Christian artists, you can go to usdiscoverytalent.com as well. You remember, when you go to the website can change to any language in the face of the earth. You are welcome to check us out. Yes, go ahead, my brother. So you saying that you never, share your experience with your mom.
No.
And you say that you were afraid. Were you afraid that the man, when he find out that you report him, were you afraid that he might do something bad to you?
My mind wasn't even on that. My mind was, that's my dad. It wasn't even like how I hear stories of kids telling. No, it just wasn't even on my mind at the time.
So in other words, you base right now, you're more mature, you're a grown man. When you look back, did you think that mentally he manipulated you?
Yes.
And that's why. Did he ever try to tell you, if you ever say this thing, besides say, will take the love away, he will take all the gift away from you? Besides that, did he ever say that if you say something to your parent, because you mentioned your dad is is a man that will do anything, okay, if you mess with his family or with his money.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
If it's that, so why he never afraid that if your dad ever find out, he might do something to him?
I don't know. I don't even know. I guess because I never told, because I would have been the only one that could say something. I guess it never, I don't know.
When that thing happened, did it happen inside your parents' house or did you go to his house?
Parents.
So your parents, where's your mom?
My mom, see at the time, like I said, latchkey. They came home later. My father was in construction and she worked for this plant. So they probably wouldn't come home till about 5. Sometimes my dad wouldn't come home till like 7.
Okay.
So I'm there at the time high school got out. I mean, I was in elementary. We got out 2 o'clock. So I'm there from 2 until my brother, who was in sports, so he was in school. My sister, by that time, was out of the house. My older sister was up north.
So in other words, the whole time, no one ever suspected anything?
No, never. Okay. Except for the girlfriend.
So why the girlfriend never say anything if she was so jealous?
You have to understand, she never said anything because she wasn't attractive. I have to keep stressing that at all. She was not pretty at all.
In reality,
but you have to understand that I don't know what her life was like growing up.
Yes.
But she was happy to be with someone that looked like him.
Attracted to him.
Okay.
So whatever he said, she did.
So in other words, he managed to manipulate her.
He was a manipulator.
Okay.
Yes.
So right now, what message do you have for so many young men out there that facing the same abuse? And also, what message do you have for parents who have young kids, young boy? And what message do you have for them? Because right now, we have so many young kids raising young kids. You have so many, young boy that, so many men who are acting like a young boy. They think that it's easy to get a woman pregnant and walk away. So they don't know the ripple effect that will cause on that young man's life. What message that you have for them out there? And what message? You have 3 messages. The message of young men right now who think that they are men, but in reality, they're acting like children. And what message that you have for fathers who refuse to take their responsibilities? Okay. And what message do you have with so many other people that were hurting out there? So I don't want to call the gay community or anything.
Right.
But what message do you have for them? Those who feel like there's no more hope. And they say, okay, especially if you have the politician just put a tag on their back and embarrass them, saying, oh, there's nothing they can do. And they believe on that lie.
Yeah.
They think that when they cross that line, there's no way back for them. There's no way out. And as a young child, someone like you as a young child, you've been abused. This is what I call you went through hell, but God reached out and brought you back. And what message that you have for them who willing to kill themselves? Do you have a message to say, don't do it, don't give up, hope is on the way?
Yes, that's a lot of messages. Okay, sure. To answer the last one first, anybody that's watching, let me tell you something. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's going to be hard. But you're going to have to execute your faith. You're going to have to really find faith somewhere. If you can't find it at home, you can't find it with the pastor, you get by yourself. You get on your knees. You talk to God. You call on Jesus Christ. That's something I had to do. I had to learn for myself. Because you might be afraid to tell somebody. You might not want to open your mouth about it. There could be fear placed in you that if anybody knows this, then I'm going to go ahead and take my life. I thought about that because I wanted a way out, and it was the easy way out, but I found out that you can go to hell. So if you're thinking about killing yourself, you can call here, you can speak to Mr. TT, you can call me, you can call different suicide prevention hotlines. You guys have stuff that I didn't have. And it's easily accessible. And I'm telling you, to execute your faith and push forward to go, let me just really do this, because if you're listening to me, if you've listened, that everything I went through was a purpose. Why? I'm here sitting with you now. I could have died a long time ago, but God said no. So don't think about taking your life because you can't talk to somebody, because the hardest people to talk to is your family. Because they're going to say, oh, we knew you were like that anyways. You always act like a sissy, always act like a fag, or this, and that. So they're going to beat you down with words. So you're really going to go to somebody that's going to add fuel to the fire? No. Find somebody. Go to a counselor in school. Open up to somebody that you can trust, because at the end of the day, people don't even know that people are molesting kids because you're entrusting them with family. Women are leaving them with boyfriends because they're thinking he's the hottest thing and he's a good provider, when all in all you let a rapist, a kidnapper in your home. You don't even know what that man has been through or what he experienced. He could have been raped or molested, and now here you are leaving your children with them. You don't know what you're putting your children in, and they can't tell you anything, because anytime you say something, you'll be like, shut your mouth, go sit down, go to bed. What are you talking about? But you don't want to believe them, ladies and gentlemen, because you have women that are abusing your sons too. You don't want to even believe them. Now here they are in a corner crying, going through the motions, trying to hold this in and trying to maintain to be your son and trying to man up and be strong, but they can't, and they're thinking the only way out is death. The only way out is to kill myself. Nobody's listening to me. Mama's not, grandma not, and then on top of that, with today's society, a lot of grown-ups, you guys are dealing with so many issues, you're not taking responsibility for your own children. So I'm telling you, you guys have outlets. Suicide prevention. Talk to your counselor. Talk to someone that you look up to. But still in the same time, pray about it, because people look good, act good, and they can turn around because they can get their rocks off and their fantasies fulfilled through your children. And if you're not aware, then you're going to see them doing whatever they want. And when these kids grow up, I've seen them become drag queens, transsexuals, changing their body parts because of something a parent did or did not do, or stuff they experienced. So you guys have to be mindful of that. As far as men that are out here not taking responsibilities, having babies and dropping them like you're animals and leaving them, you're soft. You're a sucker, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But I can't get upset with you because maybe that's something that your father did and your father's father did. So you're only following a pattern. That's a generational curse that needs to be broken. Some of you don't know how to be responsible and take care of a man or your children, because all you got to do is sex, sex, sex. Babies, 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 run, run, run. You don't even know how to take responsibilities. So if you're at that place where I really want to do better for my kids, then go get you some help, get you some intervention, get you some prayer, get that Bible, whatever you got to do to make sure that you're being responsible, because at the end of the day, God is going to hold you accountable, because the Bible says you're an infidel. You don't even exist in his eyes just because you don't even take care of what you created at all. As far as you're saying, like, what was it, grown men? Give me the question again.
The question is, so many grown men there, they're not step up to the plate. They think that being a man is just belittling women and people.
Yes.
So what message do you have for them? Are they real? Do you consider them as being strong men? I don't,
and I have a personal reason why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Because even in my life of hustling, my sister, one of my sisters who passed away last year, she had 6 kids. She's the only one that had children. When she was in the hospital, the baby was 2 weeks, and the oldest was 17. In that span, we had to do what we had to do between my sister, my brother, and myself. And we saw their fathers go in and out of their lives and trying to get the glory and coming around, dropping a little bit of money, maybe some clothes, and I might come see them. You're not a man because you're not responsible. and they wanted total control. But at the end of the day, how can you be a man when you're not taking full-on responsibility? Okay, you weren't with that woman, but you still made this child. And a lot of them look at television, radio, these rappers, all these influencers on TV are making them feel like they're supposed to be thugs and hard and supposed to walk around here and drop babies and just go out here and smoke and drink and do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you're not a man because you're not taking responsibility for your children. So no, I don't. To me, in my eyes, you're not a man, and I will tell them to their face. And I've been challenged because, oh, you're gay. And I said, I might be that, but I'm doing something you're not doing. It's beyond just buying them clothes and things. I take time with these kids. I have a passion and love for children because of what I've been through.
Now, when I'm assuming that your dad is no longer with us.
He's still here. My mom is not here.
Your mom is not here.
Right.
Before your mom passed away, did you ever had a chance to share your ordeal with her?
No. I talked to her when she was laying in the casket because I felt her presence.
Okay.
And it's not like she didn't know, because God would tell her things.
Okay.
Stuff would go on and she would call me. Shoot, wait a minute.
So if you say that she knew, did she ever confront you to say, my son, tell me what's going on? Did
No.
she ever come?
Never.
So why, in your mind, why do you think that prevent her from reaching out to you?
Why do I think it prevented her?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. We just never, it was something that was never brought up. It was
Okay.
never talked about. I mean, that's why I was saying, I'm sure she knew, but we never talked about that. I mean, I brought partners around her, friends, gay friends. She loved my mother loved everybody. I didn't care who or what you were, but we never ever talked about it.
Okay. Now, that man who abused you, took advantage of you, is still alive?
He's still alive and he has children.
Okay. Did you ever has a chance? Did your father ever find out?
The way he found out was I gave him a book. I still could not talk to him about it. If he asked me, I'm going to tell him, but I still can't talk to him
Now,
about it.
because of the way he is or he was, I'm assuming that his life has changed since he grew older. Now he has growing children, grandchildren right now.
Yeah, his great grands. Yeah.
Right, okay. Did he ever reach out to that man who abused you?
He doesn't know who he is. Well, you know what? If he's read the book, because his mind is kind of going now, and his new wife probably, she read it because she's told somebody about it, or she told me, I don't remember. But his mind is kind of going, so I don't know if he reached out to him or not.
So definitely, even if he find out, there's nothing physically he can do now.
Yes.
Because based on the fact that you say this is a man who never take BS from anybody.
But he's older and he's dealt with cancer, so he's not as strong as he used to.
He's not in
he's
the place.
6'4", so there's not as much he can do.
Okay.
I have a question. What about happening to the man what done that to you? Do he ask you for forgiveness?
No, and I've seen him a couple of times, and he'll just say hello, and I'm like, hi, and just it's so awkward now to see him. And what I said today was before this was I said, God, I would really love to sit and talk with him before he dies.
Okay, now you say that he has children now, and he also has grandchildren.
My father, yes.
No, the
guy,
man who
I know he
abused
has children. I don't know about grand.
Do you think he abused them as well?
I'm sure. It doesn't stop until you're delivered from it. That's
curse right there.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that because what he did to you, now you're a grown man, you can defend yourself? Did you ever try to reach out to the local authority to let them know, please keep an eye on this guy, just to protect the children that under his jurisdiction, under his his reach of.
Yeah. No.
Why not?
I didn't know if it was still like, you know, is there a statute of limitations or?
No. It's not. I'm not talking about statute of limitations.
Oh, like
what
tell
happened.
them what happened to me.
We can say to watch the kid, because
No.
if he did that to you, what make you think that he may not doing it to his own kid and other children around?
That's true. No, I have not. I don't even know where he lives. I've seen him like in the streets.
Still.
Yeah.
Do you think it's based on the fact that God reach out and save you? Do you think that you have do you think God not only God save you, do you think God save you to give you an opportunity to save the others, the other children that the guy may right now may abusing them? Because they might remember he literally, like you said, manipulate you to the point that you were close to your mom. You never told your mom.
Right.
Okay. Now, and what do you think that because he has that much power to manipulate children, especially the way the economy is right now, do you think that you have God save you another for you to turn around and reach and save the other children that he might be abusing now?
I mean, yeah, that could be the case, and if that's what he wants me to do, I'll do it.
No.
I've never even thought to do it or anything like that.
Okay. So, the same way you're saying that there's so many men out there who are crying for help. They growing men, they're going through so much.
Yeah.
And they find themselves unable to help themselves until someone reach out and pretty much have mercy and grab them and help them.
Yeah.
What about the children? They cannot speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Not only that they cannot speak for themselves, they cannot fence for themselves. It might be, to them you might be an angel God sent to reach out and help them.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So
I mean, I will do it. You know,
I'm not asking you to do it between you and God. I'm asking you for you to pray about it.
Yes.
No, it's bringing something back to my memory that was told to me twice from a friend of mine who had a dream about me and kids and like a huge farm with animals and all this stuff going on, that they were little children. She said, I saw mostly boys. And you were ministering to them, loving on them, teaching them about nature and life, and it was a huge farm. It was just a bunch of kids. This was told to me twice.
So,
it's coming back to my memory now.
What concerned me, because you are very close to your mom, and that guy had so much power to manipulate to the point that he knew what your dad's capable of doing to him.
Yes.
He still went forward to manipulate you. And he must did a pretty good job on you for you not even talk to your mom that were close to you. What about the other children who don't have a father like yours, who like strong to intimidate other men? What about other children don't have a mother like your mom was praying, that's close to them, love on them? They might be even now, they might be out there crying, hoping and praying for God to hear their voice, their cry, and to send an angel, someone who went through hell, and God allowed them to come back to know the experience. I believe that God never allow you to go through experience and just sit there
Of course not.
without doing something, because one way or another, God is going, there's one day God is going to ask each one of us to give an account.
Yes.
Would you, when that time comes, when he asks you, okay, you went through hell. I went down there and grabbed you and saved you. That gift I gave you, that strength I gave you, that power I gave you, people that are sent in your life to give you the support you need, what have you done? Did you go back and reach out to those children that, I don't want to call him a monster because I don't want to judge anyone.
It was a spirit.
Okay? Why you never reach out and save those children that is under his grips, is under his power to manipulate them?
I mean, to be honest, at that time, I really wasn't thinking about it because I was still trying to figure my life out.
Mm-hmm.
I was caught in a spiral. It was going out of control, and I didn't even know he had kids until maybe a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So that's why. But I mean, my life was spiraling out of control. But even at the same time, God was still using me to speak to gay men in the position that I was in Atlanta and Miami and everywhere I go. That's why they look up to me and say, "Hey, Dad." They call me father or dad because that's the position that I was in. But I was told he has have kids. I've never seen them.
When you say a position you are in, when they call you father, is that an organization that you are in power?
Yes.
So they put you in place of power?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Okay, for those that don't know, there's in the gay lifestyle they have what are called house balls. I call them gay gangs, me personally, and it's in my book. And I explain in detail what it is about the house balls. It started for me in Atlanta. And basically it started in New York with young men that were kicked out of their homes and young women were kicked out of their homes. And they literally lived on the pier in Chelsea City, in Chelsea, New York. They were homeless, living on the streets, probably prostituting, stealing or boosting, whatever, to make ends meet, to get money to eat, to pay bills, or find a hotel to stay for that night or whatever. And a lot of them ended up sleeping with other men because they prostituted. So it started with the drag queens, which for those that don't know, drag queens are men that dress up in drag, but on a regular basis, they live as men. They would stay with them, and then they would have a gay father which would portray the image of a heterosexual male or a male. So you would have the gay mother and the gay father. Even though they didn't date, they were friends, they created what was called houses. And they would take them in and call them their children or their kids, and they would stay with them. They would try to educate them, groom them about how to really survive in that gay lifestyle.
But I mean, when you say the house, they take them.
They take
do
them
you
in.
mean to take him in to protect them?
To protect
but
them.
They don't. Do they have a relationship with them?
No.
Okay.
No, they do not.
Okay.
And because it's a same sex thing, there have been cases where some of them took the kids in and did have a relationship with them. Mm-hmm. But again, it was similar to what happened to me. They showed them so much love and affection, and eventually that child can fall in love with that mother or father.
Mm-hmm.
Like we fall in love with our mother and father. Mm-hmm. But they fall in love. But the majority of the cases is no. You're my son, you're my daughter. I'm going to raise you and teach you right how to make it in this lifestyle, how you deal with people in this lifestyle, how you deal with your family, educating yourself, taking care of your health. That's why the homosexual community is very tight.
Okay.
You see it. You see what goes on TV. They're rattling to get things done for them. And they stay like this. And I was a father of a top house called the House of Milan. I didn't want to be in that position, but I took on the role of a father because of all the things I did for them. Okay. As far as like getting them things and making sure their rent is paid, making sure they're not out here doing crazy things. I've had to rescue some of them from drugs. I've seen them get high on some of the most craziest things that I've had to literally take them out of the club, put them in the car, take them to the hospital so they don't die. I've seen them getting jumped, stabbed, mugged, and I've had to be there for a lot of them. So I took on the fatherly role by being in the House of Milan. I took on that role, and I was respected by other houses, other fathers, and other mothers. They've come to me, they prayed with me. I've had some of them be homeless, evicted. Dad, I'm starving. I don't have this, I don't have that. And I had to get up, and I'm still taking care of myself and helping my mom, helping my nephews and nieces, and trying to live my life at the same time. So that's why when I said before, I don't respect a man that doesn't take care of his children. Mm-hmm. That's an excuse. You got to look beyond what it is that you're dealing with, what you're going through to make sure. They are my priority. Mm-hmm. Those children are. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what I did as a father.
Now, based on the journey that I believe you're still going through that journey, meaning that you're still there based on, let me understand correctly, you're still helping them.
I am. Just to give you a little bit about it, in 2010 or 11, when I just joined Hogum, I was still going to the balls, which are held in clubs or nice venues. I was still going. I left. I wasn't with anyone. I moved back, and I'm saying to myself, well, I'm not doing anything else besides this. And it's pure entertainment because it's fantasy, it's fun, and I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. One day, I went to the movies with a friend of mine, and she just started talking. And she said to me, I don't know what this means, but the Holy Spirit's telling me that you need to let one thing go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm saying, I let everything go. Wait a minute now. Hold on. I'm in hold of everything. She said, no, I don't know what it is, but the Holy Spirit says you need to let that one thing go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And the Holy Spirit says, you know what I'm talking about, the ballroom scene. Let it go. She says, whatever you're doing, the Holy Spirit is saying that the devil is laughing at him because he says, he has left hustling. He's left being with a partner, but I have him doing one more thing. And it was that.
So that's mean, based on what you said, the Holy Spirit telling you that, in a sense, you are playing with fire.
Right,
because
that's what he's telling me.
Being there, that's mean you allow yourself to be, you guys, it's just like you are a fighter and you're playing with gasoline.
Yes, it was
at any time.
Yeah,
at any time.
Right.
So what you're trying to say, at any time, being there, being in front of this, as you mentioned, it's a fantasy. At any time, you might cross the line.
And I was still going to them because I was still in the position of a father when I moved to Miami. I relinquished that position and I started a dynasty here in Miami. So I was still the father. And even though I was going through living with other people, hiding my car and all that, like I wasn't really making money, God said, let that go. And like you were saying, I was still helping them, yes. I wasn't doing anything illegal, but I was still helping. I was still being the father to them. And that was very hard for me to let that go. Let that go, saying that, you know, you want me to literally give up my kids. You want me to let them go and walk away? That was hard for me. And then God told me to eventually let it go, and I let the title go. And then after... And then after I let it go, I was still there, but eventually I had to totally fade to black and let him work on me and prepare me for what he wants me to do. Now he's revealed to me years later, this is where I'm going to place you, this is the region I'm going to have you in, and so on and so forth. I even recently got a call from some of them saying, we need a voice of reason dealing with the House of Milan. And I'm like, I haven't been in the ballroom scene since 2011. That's a long time for me. And when he was talking to me, I pulled the phone away and I was like, wait a minute. You told me to don't deal with the balls. God says, yes, not the balls, but the people. I want you to keep dealing with them because I need you to reach out to them. So that's where I am now, where I'm speaking to them on a level of Christianity and encouraging them and speaking to them in a way that God wants me to speak to them.
Did you ever, because the fact that you reaching out to them, did you ever try to reach other organizations like church members to come around you to give you extra support to help you with the task that you say God gave you?
Yes and no. From my church, no. not for my church. But I've had other people in the body of Christ was like, I'll help you. What do you need done? Oh, we'll help promote. We'll help you get it out there. And they have. It didn't succeed as much as I wanted it to, so I have to sit down and reevaluate how he wants me to relaunch this book. And as far as them, they know I love them, but they know also, and they let the other members know, he's on a spiritual journey with God. So that's why he can't be involved with this anymore. And they respect that. But the love I've given them, it's beyond, because I treated them like how a real father should have treated them.
Okay. What, through the journey to, have you ever researched, is there any organization, Christian organization or non-Christian organization out there, if someone who facing the same situation, that they can reach out and find help? And like mental counseling, some of them, like there's counselor organization who can mentor them, who can tutor them to reach out and get them out?
No, not that I know of.
Did you ever try to reach out? Because from what I understand, there's a big church called Christ Fellowship.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to reach out?
No, I have not. I have not made any effort, because I'm like, God, I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to do this. God, what about the money? And it really wasn't my focus. And I know that is a main focus about the book, and he wants me to do. But
so
I never thought.
If you say this is the main focus of your book, some people out there might say, are you doing this just to promote your book, or to promote the idea of helping reaching out to these people?
Well, it goes hand in hand.
Okay.
It goes hand in hand, because, again, like I said, I did not want to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Spirit came to me and told me to write the book. And as a matter of fact, Mr. DT, he had to bring back some stuff to my memory that I suppressed because it was painful.
Okay.
In order, because he told me, write it, put it in there, put everything in there, leave nothing out. I even said, you want me to put the curse words, everything, graphic detail? He said, it was your life, you lived it. It's going to help many bring people. It's going to help many to come to me. Well, Jesus speaking.
Praise God, and I'm speechless.
Yes.
Based on the fact that your book and everything that you went through, you say, God, I believe that anything is possible, and also there's another thing, your past does not dictate your future, so
no.
It doesn't matter about your past, it's what you do now.
Right.
And in the future. And I keep going back. I keep coming. By the way, anybody on Facebook, if you have any questions for Mr. Smith, for Mr. Stephen,
Yes,
Stephen Smith, you're welcome to call 561-660-7653. 561-660-7653. Let me explain. When Sister Evangelist Yolanda and Dr. Yadi came to me with Mr. Stephen Smith.
Yeah.
So I heard about this story. I had the chance, he came and told me about that, and I said he's willing. He said he's willing to share his story. One of the reasons I say okay, because I believe that there's so many children out there who are crying, that who are facing the same nightmare, and some of them being sold through slavery, sex slavery, and again, so I want this story to be out there for people to hear, to be aware of it. When you have a kid, to make sure who you allow to come to your child life. For single mothers who are dating, yes, the single mother she needs love.
Yes.
But at the same time, they need to know when it's safe. What's the formula for them to know when it's safe for them to allow a man that is not their father to come to their life? It's a very dangerous world out there. And some of them, like you say, your mother, she was a godly woman, but because she was working so many hours, she never had time to be there for you guys. And so far, you have children, was raising children, and you have sexual predators there, like a lion, like a wolf, ready to attack these children. And the fact that they're not getting the love and respect from the one who loved them, they find themselves with someone who manipulate them. And then what's breaking my heart now is that man is still alive.
Doing the same things.
Okay? He's still alive. And he still has the power to reach out and hurt these children.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and no one, that's why they say, when good people keep their mouth shut, evil strive.
Yes.
You know? So I'm hoping and I'm praying anyone who have the opportunity to watch this video, I'm asking you, for the love of God, share this video around the globe for people to know. Okay, this is the word from the horse's mouth. Someone who went through hell. Someone that because his dad and his mom were not there for him. And someone that who's supposed to protect him, someone that he knew, who's supposed to protect him, someone who's supposed to be a father figure, took advantage of him, manipulate him, and abuse him, took him down a path that was not supposed to go to. And not only that, abuse him and rob his life. And I say, thank God. God reached out to him and brought him back.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know what I mean? So you're talking about, that's why people don't know before they turn around and judge someone. They need to know what happened. There's two sides of the story.
Yes.
And I keep saying that keep bringing me back, is the children that or might be facing that evil as of today, probably as it now. So the only question that's in my mind, why he took you so long for you to reach out to these children? I understand you saying that you didn't know that he had children. You didn't know that man. And again, as a Christian myself, I try not to bring judgment on him. Let that judgment belongs to God. So therefore, I'm doing my best not to call him whatever name that's come in my mind. You know what I mean? But I believe that you owe it to God, you owe it to these children to save them, to be an angel to them, to talk to someone. Say, this is that man who abused me. I understand that. He may not be, you may not have the power to do anything to him now. But
help the kids.
He has children. He come to contact with many children every day. Somebody need to keep an eye on that man.
If you can't have any kids, then
you know what I mean?
Be molested. They're gonna
right now
molesting somebody else.
Right now, they might have children right now who are praying, calling to heaven, please, someone, please send someone to help me out, to save me. You know what I mean? God did not save you for you just to only like promote your book.
Yes, I know.
You need, and again, what really get me is the children.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So when I heard about your story, people need to hear. People need to know, for them to open their eyes.
Yes.
Before you decide to, now I'm speaking to the single mothers. Before you introduce your children to a man, I recommend you, I beg you, I beg of you to do your homework. Because you might bring your children to a monster.
To destruction.
Yes.
Because I believe that God created everyone to be a winner. I believe God created your child might be the next president, might be the next governor.
Yes.
Your job is to protect your children. The job will be there. There will always be a man there. But your child, is your right to protect your child. God bless you. There are so many women out there, men also, who truly need, who've been praying for God to send them. Bless them with child, people that were married, trying so many years trying to have a child. When God gave you a child, your job is to do anything in your power to protect them.
Yes.
Not to bring them to a monster.
And not to curse them either.
And guess what? You are the parents. You have the power, just like the Bible said. You have the power of death
In your tongue.
and the power of life in your tongue.
Yes.
I'm begging you, I beg of you to choose life.
It's life.
Speak the word of life over your children. Stop cursing your children.
Yes.
Because you heard what he said. His father used to call him faggot, gay, weak. So when that man start touching him, so he didn't have the courage to say no. And beside that, the father did not do what God called him to be a leader.
Yes.
So he did not do his job. So when you don't do your job as a leader, you allow your house to be weak.
Yes.
For the devil to really penetrate
Come in and do what he wants.
and do whatever he wants.
Yes.
God did not call the woman to be a leader. It's same thing for a country. If you have a weak leader, anybody, any other country can come and do whatever they want.
Whatever they want.
Yes.
Whatever.
So I'm begging you.
Pleading you.
I'm not pleading. I'm begging. You, those men out there, I'm begging you to do the right thing. If you're not ready to take care of a child, there's protection. Use protection. If you're not ready to love on your children, you have no business. If your love tank is empty, you have no business of loving anybody else.
None.
You have to be able, your love tank needs to be full in order to share. Your love tank is supposed to be full and overflow for you to turn around to love on someone. We're supposed to be our brother's keepers.
Yes.
Are you my brother's keeper? So you'll have a chance to hear Mr. Stephen again. His story is not end.
just started.
I'm just starting. I need to find out the next segment, the next time he comes to the studio. I want to ask him, what did you do? Since you've been here, you heard the voice of the children who are crying
In the wilderness.
in the wilderness,
Yes.
crying to heaven and say, God, send someone to help us. Send someone to help me. Set me free from that monster who is still alive. And you who are watching this video, you have a job to do. Because if you don't do it, you call yourself a Christian. If you are a father, if you are a mother, if you do not share this video, you are guilty as well. Because they say, if you remain quiet, that's when the devil build up his kingdom. I'm talking to you
Right now.
right now. Don't do it because of yourself. This has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with US Discovery Talent Radio. This has nothing to do with the doctor. She's a psychologist right there, Dr. Heidi, behind the camera.
Invisible woman.
The invisible. I used to be the invisible man. Tonight, I had to come out. I didn't come out for myself. I came out for the children.
Amen.
Yes.
When I heard about this story, I had to come out for the children. Now, you tonight, are you going to step out for the children? What are you going to do tonight? Are you going to share this video for everybody to hear, for everybody to watch, to take action, or are you just going to be passive? If you say you have love, your love tank is full. Love is an action verb. Love is an action verb. It requires for you to take action. It requires for you to step out from your comfort zone. It's an action verb. If you have children, maybe you're single, you don't have children. Your friend, you know a friend who have a child. Your sister, your brother. You might be a grandfather, you might be a grandmother. You owe them that much to let them know what's going on. You owe them that much. This is what you call the untold story. Before you judge, if you, for example, 1% that in your mind you wanted to judge this young man, this gentleman who went through so hell, you went through so much. If you judge him, you're as guilty as
Come on.
my goodness.
Yes.
If you say you love, you have love in your heart. If you don't show your love to even share this video to anyone, you know, I'm saying to you, you as guilty as the one who just watched someone who take advantage of a child.
Yeah.
Because those children cannot speak for themselves. They are powerless.
Yes.
They are powerless. I'm calling on you. I'm begging you.
Right now.
I'm begging you
Yes.
to do something.
Something.
If you say you love And tonight when you go to sleep, each time you hear in the news somebody molested a child, young girl or young man, remember, US Discovery Talent Radio brought this man, you brought this young man who went through it and told you what happened to him. He brought this story out for you to protect your children. If you don't do anything about it, God will hold you accountable, responsible, because when you hear someone in the news say they have molested a child, if you did share this video, the parents could have seen
Do
it.
something.
They could have do something. They could put all this safeguard in place to protect their children.
Yes.
And again, the same way, if you have a story to share with this world, we welcome you. Same thing. Not too long ago, during a radio show, we said to, just like tonight, if you have a story to tell, to share with the whole rest of the world, we welcome you. Because this platform, you can consider it as your home.
Yes.
So I welcome you home. And I pray sincerely, because I can do, just like Mother Teresa said, I cannot do what you do,
Right.
but you cannot do what I do.
Right.
But if we put our resources together,
Have that.
we can do anything. That I'm paraphrasing.
United together.
Yes.
So, don't do it for me.
Yes.
Don't do it for Mr. Steven.
Mr. Steve.
Don't do it for Miss Evangelist Yolanda. Don't do it for Dr. Yadi behind the camera. Usually I'm the one behind the camera. But do it for the children.
That's right. That is our future, the new millennium.
This is a show sponsored by Discovery Talent Radio. We call it Global Love Connection. One of the reasons we call it Global Love Connection, there's so much evil out there.
Yes, there is.
We want to love on everyone. I don't care what you are. I don't care about your past.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. It's what you do now and what you choose to do in the future. You can change. Anyone who say it's impossible, Mr. Stephen, you are the living example
Yeah.
of the love of God.
Yes. Yes.
You are the living example of the love of God.
Yes.
If anybody believes that God doesn't exist, all they have to do after they watch the video, they listen to the beginning of your story.
Yes.
God has not done with you yet.
Just started.
Just started.
Yes.
Based on the fact that what you told me, you have not even begun telling your story, your ordeal. And I'm asking you, each night, tune in tomorrow, Thursday. There will be another show
Yes.
from 6:30 to 7:30.
7:30.
And after that, there will be another
Another
show
show
from
coming.
8 o'clock, no, 8 o'clock
Yeah.
to 10 o'clock.
To 10 o'clock.
So, I pray everyone tonight on Facebook, YouTube, I pray that tomorrow night you tune in.
Can I say something?
Please.
Speaking to all the church over there, out there, I think everybody here, testimony from my brother, and I think that they need to invite him to come to the church to teach the young generation, because many kids in the church are going through difficult time, a hard time.
Not every church is going to accept him.
Well, I know that God is a powerful God, and God called him for such a time like this, because it's time to expose whatever going on inside the church. And I know God is bringing him out now, because he's been through a lot. And remember, if he never have a prayer mother, he could be dead already. So I believe the church over there need to have testimony, because testimony transform the body of Christ and transform the young kids, because some kids in the church sitting down right now going through abuse. And if God is bringing you out, it's time to take
inside the
to
church.
go forward.
Inside the church, this thing, some of this that happening inside the church as well.
Yes. So he need the church need to invite him to go and teach the young generation. Because for me, the young generation is my passion. Them is the ones suffering. You know, you were 7 and you don't have anyone to talk to. You know.
Well, America,
they have more outlets.
America, the rest of the world. I ask you again. Let's work together to save the children.
Yes.
Let's work together to be a voice for the children. God bless you. God bless America. God bless everyone. And please, share this video, not for me, not because of me. Share it for people to know what's going on. To protect the children. Be a voice. The children are the underdogs. They need a voice. Let be their brothers and the sisters keepers. Once again, God bless. God bless.
Adiós. El Señor le bendiga.
Thank you. I think him.
Can get up. What happened?
That's why I tell him just leave. When you video,
How was Facebook?
There was so many comments, I lost track of the comments. It was so many, because they weren't showing anymore.
So what did you say? Oh, you're going to see them.
Yeah, you're gonna see that when I went to go down, but I couldn't. I was trying to go on my thing so I could capture it.
Because the kids been abused. I work with you.
I know it's.
But nobody came off. Everybody was intensely.
He already has it all.
Everybody was intensely watching, listening.
So the church needs to open the door for you to come. We're going to pray for that.
Yes, because
The
that's where
church
God
is
wanted
hiding
to go.
everything in there.